Hey y'all, it's number 5. This is the last one for the week, insights into section 10 and 11. And remember, when I do these insights, I just pull out some scriptures that I think are going to be really good for the people that are out there that are going to watch this. They're not the only ones in here that are good. They're not what other people are going to pull out. It's just what I feel from the lesson this week that is going to impact you guys the best, probably. Yeah. Because, if it doesn't impact you, then someone else out there is going, that's just what I needed. And that's how it is, right? Okay, so the rest of the section 11, because we're just finishing off section 11, has just some really good advice around, build on my rock, which is the gospel. Who doesn't want to be built on the rock of Jesus Christ? It's sturdy, it's safe, it's good. Treasure up in the heart, wisdom, get ready to work, and he tells, I'm Jesus Christ. We're going to just finish off with verse 25. And verse 25 says, Deny not the spirit of revelation, nor the spirit of prophecy, for woe unto him that denieth these things. 26, he goes on to say, For therefore treasure up in your heart until the time which is in my wisdom that you shall go forth. So treasure up in your heart these things. But deny not the spirit of revelation, nor the spirit of prophecy. So, never ignore on purpose the Spirit. Listen and act. And that's what I've put for this one. Never on purpose. Because sometimes we ignore it because we're not sure it's Him, and we've already talked about how to recognize it. And sometimes we can still be like, I don't know about that. It's a bit odd. It seems strange. It doesn't, still feels good, but you hesitate. So that's not the same thing. This is ignoring it on purpose, going, I don't want to go and see that sister, or I don't want to call that brother up. I don't like talking to them. That's ignoring it on purpose, especially when it comes to you 2 or 3 times within the hour, and you think, maybe you've had an experience with this. Well, I have, and I regret doing it, and I've just promised that I wouldn't do it again. And I really could have helped someone had I stayed with them. And I said, look, I've really got to go back to work. And I really felt that I should stay, but my obligation to be at work, which I'm sure if I'd called them and said, actually, I can come and sick. This is years ago. I'm talking like 30 years ago. So, I could have said, hey, I can't come in. I need to, I'm sick or whatever, because my friend's sick, I need to look after a baby or whatever, and I could have helped. And had I been there, the situation that unfolded for her would have been quite different. Now, she's still fine, and she's moved on, and it's all good. Again, once again, my failure did not interrupt the Lord's plan for her or her wellness. It's just that I could have helped her, and that really made me sad that I could have helped her, knowing that I could have helped her and that I didn't, and that I could have made that situation for her a whole lot easier and a lot better, and I didn't, because I felt that I had to go to work, which is a good obligation. Going to work is good because it earned money to pay for where I lived and the food that I needed. I didn't at that stage of my life trust in the Lord to know that that's what He was telling me. So don't ignore the Holy Ghost and His promptings on purpose, because they're there for a reason. Listen and act. But remember, if you don't, you muck up, learn from it and move forward. Don't beat yourself up about it. Anyway, I've said here, many of us learn this the hard way and know that from experience, to listen and act. And I'm like, yeah, I do, because I just shared it with you. It's not the only time either. That was the main one I remember, but there's other times that have happened where I've, littler things, and I'm like, okay, no, I really need to get better at this. So it's something we all learn. Work on recognizing the Spirit and live in such a way to have Him reside with you. And that's the ultimate thing, isn't it? To live in such a way that everything in your life is influenced just by Him being there. It's not necessarily that you're seeking answers, like I don't go and have a prayer about what should I have for lunch. Holy Ghost, tell me what should I have for lunch, because He's not a magic 8-ball. It's guidance. It's not, like some fantasy toy. Whether I have the leftover chicken or a sandwich for lunch really doesn't matter. But I can feel guidances, and I can stand there and go, I feel peaceful. I could have either one of these. I can make a choice. So it's just a way of living, right? Now, the quote from this one for this week is from an elder, Donald L. Hellstrom. Now, he's an author. He's a really smart dude. He was a 70s, not anymore. Not because of anything bad. He just got released. It's just, he's moved on to do other things. He said, though, the more distractions that surround us, the easier it is to treat casually, then ignore, and then forget our connection with God. So that's not just social media, it's not just your phone, because your phone and social media can be used to good if you're looking at a lot of church things and keeping things in there that are conducive to the Spirit of the Holy Ghost. What he's talking about generally is the more distractions around you. So the more things you are filling your life with that are needless, the the less time you take to find those quiet moments, as we talked about earlier in the insights. I think in the first one, just Ezra Taft Benson talking about finding a quiet place to go pray and meditate. I noticed Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints website, the official thingy on Instagram, they had up a little thing around, taking time out with some lovely pictures of some youth taking time out to just, in nature, which is wonderful ways to do it. Just to find that peace. Now, not all of us can go walk up to a top cliff and look, beautifully put together as these youth did, but it's to make you feel that way, not necessarily to tell you that's exactly the spot. The spot could be found in, the corner of your garden. If you don't have a garden, maybe it's in just a nice area of the apartment you live in. You can decide that that's the spot that's going to be your, not a shrine, but your church area goodness, and it spreads to the rest of your house. Like I said, this is what I've set up here, and this week we've got a picture of Hiram and Joseph here. There we go. And this is why I've got church books around here. I've got my own church artwork that I create about carrying the light of Christ, and has my dear friend Kaiser in it. And there's things around this area. If you look now, I can see pictures of the temple, pictures of Christ, and there's church books and church things. If you sit in my bedroom where I pray every day, there's pictures of the temple, there's pictures of my family, there's pictures of good things. This is where I sit and go through Instagram and read all the church stuff that I like. And so it's taking away those distractions, all the little games you have on your phone. And there's nothing inherently wrong with any of them, but, are they taking too much of your time? Are you finding yourself, oh, I'm bored, I'm going to go shop at Kmart instead of read the scriptures? So there's a balance to be found, and it's taking away those distractions that you don't need. And some people, when they aren't dealing so well with things, fill their lives with stuff that just doesn't matter because they feel that that's good, that it's keeping them busy, that they're doing good because they're just busy. And it's yeah, but that's really no good for you. So there's a balance to be found. There's nothing wrong with being busy either. It's just, why are you that busy? What are those distractions? Because, as he says then, it draws us away to treat casually and then ignore and then forget. And we don't want to do that. We want to keep that connection strong. So don't ignore that spirit. All right, well, that's kind of us for this week. It was good to hear from that. And I know some of these have gone a little over, like this one. But, it's good stuff to talk about. This particular couple of sections has some really good points in it to talk about that really help us learn from their experience. So that's why. All right, hopefully it's been helpful to you this week. And I will catch you next week. Couple of good sections there too. So we're going to have another good one. All right, guys. See you next week.